A high-ranking unit in the Russian Navy is reportedly reeling after experiencing significant losses in a recent offensive. The 155th Guards Naval Infantry Brigade was involved in a Wednesday attack on a Ukrainian military garrison in Pavlivka, a town southwest of the recently annexed Donetsk region, according to the Moscow Times on Monday. The offensive was intended to give Russian forces access to a key supply line in the area. In the wake of the offensive, the elite naval unit is reportedly pointing the finger at baffling leadership decisions that led to the loss of roughly 300 men. These complaints were made in a letter shared by a handful of Russian media figures online, which was sent by the unit to regional leaders in its home region in Russia's Far East. State-run media figures have also acknowledged the existence of the letter, based on one journalist's Telegram post, but they did not go into great detail about its contents. The letter further accuses their leaders of hiding the true statistics from higher-ups for fear of facing accountability for their failures. They also continue to accuse them of leading men into doomed offensives for the sake of boosting their own prestige. The district command, together with the brigade commander, is hiding this for fear of accountability. The letter circulated continued. They don't care about anything other than showing off. They call people meat. In their own report on the Pavlivka offensive, the Ukrainian military said that its troops seized several armored vehicles from Russian forces, which included a T-80 BVM tank. Over the past 24 hours, the units of the defense forces have repelled attacks of Russian occupiers in the areas of the settlements of Verkhnyo-Kamyansk, Spern, Mariinka, Novomikhailivka, Vodan, and Pavlivka of Donetsk region, the Ukrainian army said Friday via its official Facebook page. The statement continued, "The enemy conducts shelling of defense forces units along the line of encounter, carries out fortification equipment of the borders in individual directions, and conducts air reconnaissance. It continues to strike critical infrastructure and civilian housing in violation of international humanitarian law and customs of warfare." Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry took the rare step on Monday of denying allegations that a naval infantry unit had suffered disastrous losses of men and equipment in a futile offensive in eastern Ukraine. The ministry was responding to what Russian military bloggers said was an open letter from members of the 155th Marine Brigade of Russia's Pacific Fleet, complaining they had been thrown into an incomprehensible assault on Ukrainian forces southwest of Donetsk. The text was published by Gray Zone, a popular military blog. It was addressed to Oleg Kazhemyako, governor of the Far Eastern Primorye region, thousands of miles from Ukraine, where the unit is based. Kazhemyako appeared to acknowledge the letter was genuine, but said it exaggerated the scale of the true losses. "We contacted the commanders. Yes, there are losses, there's heavy fighting, but they are far from what is written in this appeal," he said in a video statement on his Telegram channel. The Defense Ministry statement, quoted by the state-owned RIA news agency, rejected the assertion that the Marines unit had suffered high, pointless losses in people and equipment. On the contrary, in the course of 10 days, it had advanced 5 kilometers, over 3 miles, into Ukrainian defensive positions, RIA quoted the ministry as saying. The statement specifically denied that the brigade's commanders had shown incompetence. Due to the competent actions of the unit commanders, the losses of Marines for the given period do not exceed 1% of combat strength and 7% wounded, a significant part of whom have already returned to duty, it said. The unusual denial suggested the reported losses had touched a raw nerve at a point in the war's 9th month when Russian forces are under heavy pressure in partly occupied regions of Ukraine that Moscow has proclaimed as its own territory. Actions denounced as illegal by Kiev, the West, and most countries of the United Nations. Russian military bloggers, some of whom command audiences of 500,000 or more on social media, have become increasingly critical of the failings of Moscow's generals since Ukraine recaptured large parts of the northeast of the country in September. The reported appeal from the Marine unit criticized individual commanders by name, describing them as mediocrities who treated their men like meat and were only interested in furthering their own careers. The regional governor, Kazimiako, said he had sent materials to the military prosecutor's office for further examination. In conditions of information warfare, any publications on social networks need checking. I am sure that in any case the situation will be analyzed and the competent authorities will give their assessment, he said.